So, I will confess that now and again, with these silly videos, I preempt what's coming and I think about how I'm going to do the video. And over the last few weeks, I had genuinely thought that I would do this video as if we were having a party, like with party poppers and like music going on in the background. I know, I'd really considered it. I'd actually considered getting some party poppers in. But I feel now I'm ashamed to have said that. I'm very ashamed of myself because that was actually exceptionally affecting and very, very powerful. So that's the one concession is I found this balloon. It looks a bit like a distended kidney or something. I don't know. Right. So that was really remarkably good. And it's massively flawed as a story. And in all honesty, if you wanted to do that with Doctor Who, then for the purposes of the drama, Adric's not the one you kill. For the purposes of the drama, you kill Tegan.
Oh no, but for the purposes of a good ongoing show, you keep Tegan.
Well, I've got issues with the good ongoing show as well, which we'll talk about in a moment. But you're absolutely right. Tegan's clearly the superior companion of the three. You could get away with killing Nyssa, but you don't kill Adric because, and again, with massive apologies to Matthew Waterhouse, I don't want to be mean, but Adric as a character hasn't worked. I don't think there's been enough there as a performance. The two things obviously combine, but it's just, you don't do that. However, in amongst this story, which is dramatically flawed, got major issues, that is essentially a very hollow showcase for some big action sequences, that's such a potent moment. And in a story that increasingly felt more and more and more hopeless, Doctor Who manages to subvert what it usually does, and you find that the hopelessness was completely justified because it was a hopeless situation. And something we've come to rely on as viewers, that the Doctor will be able to save the day to whatever extent, hasn't come to pass, and the tragedy has fallen his own TARDIS door. Not some random group of people we met for the first time in a particular story, not for some extra that you knew would bite it within seconds of them arriving. No, but for our own crew, one has gone. And I have to say that it's, oh God, this sounds so mean. It's the most effective thing that Adric's character's done, because all of a sudden, this has thrown new light on the programme. And I think it was perfectly appropriate that came on the back of a Cyberman story, that we'd had our little look at the first Doctor, look at the second Doctor, look at the fourth Doctor, that we'd had like a big guest star, because Beryl Reid was a big name at the time, a very relevant, a big name to bring in. You do not expect to see her in this gritty story. You do not expect her to have that sort of role. I know for most people watching this, you won't have a clue who Beryl Reid is. Go and look it up. I can't remember what else she was in. Was she in Last of the Summer Wine? That was Thora Hird, wasn't it? Anyway.
I can't remember.
So, that is an amazingly effective, weirdly, piece of television. Even down to what is... I mean, I was tense all the way through that last episode, and I know what's coming. Did you know? You knew what was coming, didn't you, Liv?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I've seen it before.
And that bit at the end with the badge and the no music, I mean, it's Nick straight off Coronation Street as legend goes, apart from the badge, perhaps. But that was great. So, up until this point of Doctor Who, in the ongoing story of Doctor Who, that's an amazing thing to have happened. That is an absolutely amazing thing to have happened. It is the bleakest, I think, in terms of the personal stories, certainly in terms of the personal stories, but possibly in terms of everything, the bleakest that this whole programme has been up until this point. How many years in now? Nearly 20 years in? I mean, you can cast your mind back to the Dalek Master Plan and we can call it, but no. This is as dark as this program has got up until this point. So let's just put a little comma, a new paragraph in a minute. Let's just reflect on an amazingly effective piece of television. However, I've got an issue, and it's going to come to pass from this point on. And I'm very intrigued to see how this is going to play out. Okay, I'm really fascinated to see how this is going to play out, because I don't think that Doctor Who does particularly well with trauma, right? Because some terrible things happen in Doctor Who all the time. Terrible things happen to people that we grow to like, characters that we don't go to like, whatever. Whole planets get destroyed. You know, our planet gets royally messed about with. But there's something about this programme that manages to get, that is cosy and safe generally, right? This is why I genuinely feel the whole, hiding behind the sofa thing is essentially nonsense, because you know the Doctor's going to sort it out. And therefore, no matter what happens...
Don't anymore.
Well, and this is my point. I don't think this programme's set up to deal with this level of trauma. And we'll see it again a long time in the future. We're going to get to Moffat's season. And I think Moffat... I know I'm preempting, we don't normally do this, but I think Moffat begins to toy with things that are too traumatic. And as a result, you cannot expect the characters involved to go, or the worlds involved, to go back to how it was, right? And one of the things about Doctor Who that's glorious is, for the most part, it does go back to how it was. We have lots of resets along the way. I don't think, honestly, the programme and the characters involved can be expected to go back to what was after this event, right? Now, we've seen that the programme's already crap at this. Nyssa, you will recall, had a whole planet destroyed, and her dad was killed by the mortal enemy of the guy she travels around with now. Has that been mentioned for a while? Has it even really been addressed?
No.
So,
and she's just a baby as well.
And she's just a baby, as Adric was. So, can we truly expect the Doctor and his companions to go back to bobbing about in a TARDIS and in 3 episodes' time not be absolutely royally messed up by what just happened? Okay? Properly messed up by what just happened. Okay, so, just, in conclusion, that was brilliant. That was way better than I remembered. And in terms of the overall story of Doctor Who, an absolutely fantastic moment. A moment that is as relevant to the sort of overall story of the programme as any regeneration, as the Deadly Assassin, as the first emergence of the Master and the Terror of the Autons, all right? In terms of the overall structure of... Time Meddler, another... In terms of the overall narrative of this programme, that is as relevant a moment as almost any other. So there has to be a payback. And if there isn't a payback, then it's Bobbins. And I am terribly worried it's going to be Bobbins. I am really worried that this is going to come to naught, and I'm going to be royally disappointed very, very soon. But we shall approach it, as always, with an open heart and open mind, and we shall see what happens.
It'll be right.
It'll be right. It'll be right. There we go.